energy work. We know that there's three main buckets, right? We know that there is future casting, going into the future, wiggling around in the would-be feeling and pulling that in and experiencing it in the present. This is our most powerful way to manifest, is by brewing up for as many minutes in the day as possible the future energy and brewing it up so strong that we then can kind of hold that. So we're operating within the day in the swagger of our future energy. We are feeling better. Our brain is operating is better. We are receiving better thoughts. That's really the most powerful thing. Now, if we do future casting, but we also live with narratives at the same time of, oh, this is going to be hard, or this is going to take a long time, or da 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 da, then it's kind of like you're going up and you're being pulled down at the same time. And I kind of like, I don't know if it is a perfect canceling out, but let's just pretend it just cancels each other out. You have harmful narratives, but you're future casting, you kind of come out at ground zero. So the other bucket of energy work we have is rewriting our shit. The rewrite, I wish I had a better word for rewriting, but I just don't have another word that is so concise. This is the process of finding thoughts we have that don't feel good and swapping them out for ones that feel incrementally better, doing it over and over and over again, that over time we're trending upwards. This is the essence of carving out new neural pathways in our brain so we can be thinking better, which results in feeling better a lot of the time. So that's the second bucket. And then the third bucket, I am like kind of exploring this because for a long time I just called this, essentially self-care, which is, hey, let's go in and let's, when we're having a dip, when buckets 2 and 3, when rewriting and future casting doesn't feel available because it's just like one of those days, we then let ourselves off the hook for doing the rewriting. We let ourselves off the hook for the future casting, but we're also not just being lazy saying, I'm not doing it, and then settling around and saying, all right, the work I'm doing today is I get to eat cake, or I get to make tea, or I get to take a hot bath, or I'm going to treat myself with a walk. Now, what this also is this is also the receiving mode. This is also fostering. So this idea of self-care is the same thing as fostering the receiving mode, which means that being chill enough where we can allow the universe to work for us. So I kind of, what I would like for a long time teaching it, saying, oh, this is self-care, it kind of made it seem like, oh, this is what we do if we have a bad day. But I also every single day do bucket 1 stuff. I'm treating myself all the time. So really this other category of work is letting ourselves off the hook, allowing ourselves to do the best damn job we can at any given moment, and realizing this is also fostering the receiving mode. This is, in other language, calming the nervous system. Same thing, receiving mode and calming the nervous system is a really good work. It's not just something you do on a bad day, it's everything. So these are our 3 main buckets. And right now I want to go a little bit deeper into a review of future cast. I even have a little screen share I'm going to do. Boom, boom. Really fancy. Everything, if it was left to me, everything would look like this. But then Amy makes it prettier most of the time. So the idea with future casting, right? This is about saying, hey, let me go into the future and what is it that I want? I want the book deal. I want the business. I want the employee. I want the flow. I want the just ease. I want the life of waking up happy and going to yoga and like having options for my day. I want all of this. So we know that high level, we need to kind of have a very general, you do not need details, just something so we can kind of visualize this moment in the future. However, it is not the actual thing we're thinking about that gets us the manifestation. It's not that we're thinking about a white kitchen that gets us a white kitchen. It doesn't matter if you're thinking about a white kitchen. What matters is sometimes thinking about a big white kitchen helps us feel like we actually have a big white kitchen. So don't get hung up on the details. No getting hung up on the details at all, because the details don't matter. The details are only an excuse and an aid to help us get into the feeling place of what we really, really want. So with that, when we're thinking about, we want to be picky, right? You might be thinking, oh, I need a future cast, the big juiciest goal. I need a future cast, the yacht and the house. And I need a future cast, the big end result. And if that is genuinely juicy in your body, then yeah, let's do it. But we can also just see, well, what is actually the best feeling in my body? Because the big juicy goal might actually feel too far away. It might feel a little hard to find the feeling of the best thing. So you might be thinking about what you want, but there's still a little rewriting to do. There's still a little bit, it still seems kind of far away. So we want to find something that genuinely gets you excited. And sometimes it's something smaller and something more short term that can genuinely light you up more. This is something only you're going to be able to tell in your body. So for an example, if I'm thinking about, there's a difference between, let's say I'm thinking about making $30,000 a month, $30,000 a month. And that may be like, yeah, I totally want to make $30,000 a month. But then you're like, okay, cool. That would be really cool. But then you might actually get more excited about something smaller than that, like launching a new project, or like just moving into a different home, or going on a little vacation, or like achieving some other milestone. And then even if that feels like, and then maybe that feels good, maybe you can do it. But then you could even say, well, is there even anything else that would get me lit up even more? Like when I think back to when I originally started doing this, my original future cast was just the moment after paying off all my debt. The moment after paying, I could just see it. I'd sign the check and it would be gone. And like to this day, when I think about that, like that feeling still, like when I think about how I felt back then, that was a really, really powerful vision. It wasn't super abundant, but for me, that was juicier than thinking about $20,000 in a bank account, because that was too far away for it to be as powerful as something a little bit closer. So the idea of the future casting is that this is a really juicy treat to yourself. This is a really juicy treat to your body. You're like, ooh, yes, of course I want to be thinking about this. Of course I want to be thinking about this, because this actually genuinely feels really, 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 really good in my body.